Adobe recently upgraded their masking tool in Premiere Pro, and I say recently, probably 2 months ago, but I'm a little late to the party. Oh well, anyways, you don't have to go in After Effects anymore to get a good mask on your footage. You can do it right there in Premiere Pro, and it can choose the mask for you, unlike in the past when you had to use the pen tool and manually trace it out frame by frame. We are all thankful for that, I'm sure. Anyways, let's hop into Premiere Pro. There's footage of my sequence. I'm ready to start masking, right? There's two things that you may notice if you're really aware of Premiere Pro that are not the way they used to be. The first one being the toolbar. The toolbar now has this new tool called the masking tool, or the object mask tool. You can click and hold on it to get other options for masking, like your default pen tool you used to use. But the object mask tool is what I'm going to talk about today because it's kind of the whole new AI-based thing. Let's talk about that. Now that I have the object mask selected, it kind of works like Photoshop works. You go into your footage, you select a subject in the footage, right? So in this case, the car is obviously the subject. We'll just click it, and bam, just like that, there's a mask. Now mine's blue. Yours might not be, right? You can change that by going over to the color. I guess mine's technically cyan, but you can change the color of your mask to, let's say, yellow, so it's very easy to see. Over here, you'll see another tool, which if you click on that, you have a lasso or a rectangle option for that mask, just to kind of give you some more options. And we're going to use the lasso here with this plus icon right now. So what this plus icon is it adds to the mask. This one subtracts to the mask. We're gonna go ahead and zoom in here because I'm seeing a couple problems with this object-based mask, right? Right here, there's a section of the car that it's not being masked, and I want it to be. I'm gonna click and drag a lasso around the section that is not being masked. And now you'll notice if I just keep doing it, all these little white dots, as long as there's white dots there, that means those sections are technically not being masked in. And now that I added to the mask with the lasso, I want to remove stuff that's not supposed to be in this mask with the lasso as well. We can go here and just click subtract from object. You can also alternatively hold Alt, so you don't have to come back down here, but zoom in more. I have it on subtract from the mask. Now I'm going to make a selection here, and I'm going to try to trace out the top of this car here pretty well. And now that section should be gone like that, as you see. It's no longer selected in the mask. And there we go. The object's masked in much less time than it used to take. But here's the second thing you might have noticed being different. Over here in the effects controls panel, right, where you would go to usually edit the mask or do something with the mask, you have this unassigned mask section, which underneath that has your actual mask in it. Obviously, we made a mask on the actual car here, but it hasn't like blacked out the rest of the scene like it used to. Why is that? Well, this is because you can actually assign the mask wherever you want, basically in the footage in the effect controls. So in our case, we want to click and hold the mask and drag it, as you can tell it's moving with us, down to opacity, drop it on there, and now, just like in the past, the mask is only showing what's inside of it, not outside of it. And of course, you can invert this and all that as you used to. But we want to keep it this way. I'm going to go ahead and copy this by holding Alt and clicking and dragging that footage up there. And I'll do a little sandwich technique where you kind of put things between two layers. And this top layer, we want to keep the mask applied to the opacity like you would expect, right? Like the old masks. And then the bottom layer, I'm going to delete that mask from the opacity, because I want the top layer to have the mask and not the bottom layer. And now that I have that, I can actually go ahead and just put text wherever. I'll stretch it to its length of the footage, and then I'll drag it down here. And now you can see that there's a mask around the subject, right, as you would expect. What problem is, when you press play, the mask does not move with the text. So how do we fix this, right? Well, select the layer that uses the mask, go to the frame that you chose the mask out of. I chose it from frame 1, so make sure that layer is selected. Find the mask under opacity in this case. And then there's a button right here that says track selected mask forward and backward. In case you're not on the first frame, you can press that one. Otherwise, I'm just going to press track selected mask forward. The tracking thing is going to pop up in the center. It's going to go ahead and track the mask for you as you would expect. And when the mask is done tracking and you press play, you'll get the mask moving with the subject, or whatever's happening in the scene will be masked and tracked relevant to whatever the subject is. Now, in this case of the footage, you would want to use After Effects to track the depth of the text so it actually scales up with the footage as you go. But if we want to make this really quick and see if we can get it just by eye, we'll press the scale icon here. We'll go keyframe to scale it here, and I'll scale this up just a little bit, right? And you might get the same effect now, where it's scaling a little too large, but it kind of looks like it's moving with the footage, right? So the point is, in this case, right, we made a mask, we attached it to the opacity, we edited that mask with the new masking tools, and you can see how easy it is to actually make masks that are trackable in a matter of minutes, which is really nice. And then in this case, like on the footage here, if I want to change my background but keep me looking, you know, properly colored, I can do that. If I want to add text behind me like you're seeing now, I can do that. I don't do too much that requires masking, but when I do, it is going to be nice to be able to use the masking tools that are built in Premiere Pro without having to go make an After Effects sequence and do all the composition and then save it and then track it backwards. It's going to be really nice just to do one click, choose what I want, save it as a mask, use the mask on whatever I want, whether it's an effect or the opacity or whatever. It applies the same way for that matter, and just speed up the editing, the workflow that much more. Anyways, I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Goodbye. The coffee is cold, man. The coffee is cold.